recording. There you go. All right. I call this meeting to order at 5:05. Our land acknowledgement. The ACW acknowledges the stewards of Coast Salish lands, the lands on which we currently sit, and the UW occupies. We acknowledge the original and current caretakers, Duwamish, Tukwamish, Tulalip, and Muckleshoot nations and peoples. And a roll call. Everyone did their attendance thing, so we're fine. Announcements. Does anyone have anything from the RSOs or just things that are going on campus that you want to promote while we're here? Cool. Okay. And we'll move on to the minutes. What's happening? Uh-oh. I'll make one and then you can like add on to it. So while we do that, if you guys want to look over the meetings from the last 2 committee meetings, that would be good.
I'm just gonna create a shared folder.
Ooh, I might not have shared the folder with you, actually. Oh, great. We're just the same thing. Okay. Yes, there might have been something that you didn't say, or like something that you did say but not in there. But it's been like 2 months, so who remembers anything?
Right now, I have it saved like in my files, and then when you share the what's it called, I have a copy of it already, so I'm gonna edit this one, and then if you could create like if there's already like a shared folder with all the minutes in them, just like add.
Yeah, okay, I can definitely. If we have like a shared folder for that, I can do that like after this.
Oh, perfect.
Okay.
And then I'll add these minutes in there.
Yeah. Okay.
I know how to speak English.
No, you're so fine. I mean, it's always the most like annoying thing about meetings. I don't need them up twice.
Oh, you guys do your own roll call, like let's see.
We have like too many people, and like we need. And I'll share like the spreadsheet with you after, so that you can track that down. But it should be fine. If the minutes look good to any of you, I'm waiting for any motions.
Motion to approve the minutes for 2/21/25.
We have a motion to approve the minutes for 2/21/25. Are there any seconds? We have a second from Rhea. Are there any objections? Hearing none, we shall take it to a vote. All those in favor say aye. Or raise your hand on Zoom or thumbs up or whatever. Or Teams. Thank you, Stella. All those against? All those abstaining? With the voting concluded, we have approved the minutes for 22/21/25. Okay, what about the next one?
Motion to approve the minutes for 3/7/25.
We have a motion to approve the minutes for 3.7.25. Are there any seconds? We have a second from Nadine. Are there any objections? Hearing none, we shall take it to a vote. All those in favor say aye. All those against say nay. All those abstaining. With the voting concluded, the minutes for 3.7.25 are approved. Hello, Lena. No, you're so fine. We have like an attendance thing, like on the. Do you have access to the agenda?
Yeah.
I just fill that out then. Okay, good. Then our minutes are over. Co-chair's report. Leah is not here. She's absent. So that's why I'm here by myself. But yeah, I think we had a great election. I liked, again, like officially, like in person. Thank you guys for like showing up during those weeks. Like the last 3 days of the voting period are definitely a lot, but we did reach our turnout goal of 10%. So that was really exciting. We nearly reached our reach goal of 12%. So that's awesome. And like we really couldn't have done it without any of you, because like me and Ria can only like stand outside for so long and like talk to people. So thank you guys, including you guys on Teams. Thank you, Stella and Anya, for that. Yeah, our competition with the other campuses like AC Dubs, Tacoma, and Bothell, I think I will likely win that little voting competition we have. We'll have to see how Bothell turns out, but historically, all of our campuses haven't been so great. But we'll see. They still got to vote, so we're excited for that. Me and Ria are planning like our end of the year like AAC bonding event. So like we'll have like hub games and like bowling and like Mario Kart or whatever. So I think that's like the last Friday, like maybe week 10 or something, or week 9. We'll see what happens. But beware that. That's just a small appreciation for your guys' work since we can't like pay you guys, sadly. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy that. So yeah, anything else? Everything else is like in the legislation we got to go over in the reports. But yeah, that's my stuff. Brendan is not here, so we'll get into new business. So as I said in the email and in the teams, we have an administrative policy, which again is like the things that our committee passes to ensure like continuity in our work for the coming years. And something me and Ria have been working on is legislation for the student senate to enable us to have a student senator be a part of the committee, or like a senate liaison, and have one of the committee members here be a senator on the student senate. So that's what the two pieces of legislation that are a part of this administrative policy are talking about. So yeah, so we have an organic act to establish a protected seat for the ACW Elections Administration Committee in the Student Senate, and a Senate bill to establish like better voter engagement and a senator be a part of this committee. But the thing about having a senator be on this committee, it's like technically in the Constitution we can't have that, so that's why it also calls on the for the board to pass a ballot measure to remove that part in the Constitution so that senator can be a part of this committee, which was pretty interesting to read when I first saw that like a while ago. But that's what it's also calling on. But I think if we want to look over the ORA first, I think that would be helpful, like because not all of you are like senators, and like it could definitely be a bit of a word jargon. So yeah, if all of you have access to the Organic Act. Okay.
I can't find the school. Sorry, I only see the May 1st.
Oh, do you have the agenda open?
Thing you emailed us?
Yeah. Oh, are you talking about? Are you on the Teams channel? Oh no, you're so fine. Yeah, this is your first meeting, so yeah, once you get to the agenda, like it's on the Teams channel, then once you go to general, it's gonna be like roll call on the agenda, and it's a link.
Are you talking about the thing in new business?
Yes, yeah, it's within the administrative policy. So like the administrative policy is like saying that we want the Organic Act to have have a representative from the EAC be a Senate, and then we have the Senate bill, which is like codifying a lot of the engagement and outreach efforts we did this year, so that the committee can like have a basis for doing that work in the future. So yeah, that's what the AP is all about. Ethan, do you still not have access?
I don't have.
That's not wonderful at all. Do you have access? Okay, and Nadine. Okay. Yeah, you can have access as well. And send. And that should be in your emails. Okay. But briefly, I guess I'll just read it over. That'll be simpler. Okay. Whereas currently the Elections Administration Committee EAC does not have a voting designated seat in the Student Senate, and whereas the codification and implementation of engagement education efforts conducted by EAC this year is necessary to ensure we lead ACW in reaching our 25% turnout goal by 2030, and whereas representation between the EAC and the Student Senate will ensure better collaboration on engagement and education initiatives when it comes to ACW elections, and therefore be it adopted by the Associated Students of the University of Washington Elections Administration Committee that the AAC submit Organic Act 31, an act to establish a protected seat for the AACW Elections Administration Committee to the Student Senate Steering Committee, and that the EAC submit Senate Bill 31 we don't know the number yet, an act to better AACW elections, voter engagement, and education to the Student Senate Steering Committee, and that upon the pass, and that's voting clause. So it's just saying that we want, as a committee, are passing these two bills to the Student Senate for them to vote on and approve. So like it's more, again, like codified in our work. So we'll go over the OA first, because that's like the smaller one. It basically says that we're going to change the ACW bylaws to include an EAC seat in the Student Senate, which we currently do not have. And that the process of how that EAC member in the Student Senate is selected will be up to us in our own regulations and bylaws and stuff. You guys have access to that? Okay, great. Nadine, you don't have access? Okay,
The Senate bill works, I think.
okay. So yeah, if you guys want to read over that for a minute, then we can talk about it if you have any questions.
Did this already go through steering?
No, we're submitting this to steering.
Oh.
Yeah. So both of these bills, we're saying it to steering. We're just saying it as a committee, we're supportive of it going to the Senate. Do any of you have questions about the OA? No. Okay.
Can I ask the informal question though? Am I
Ye-
allowed to ask questions?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Are you guys asking to extend the election period? Or are these just clauses just saying like, these are the reasons why our voter turnout is so low?
No. It's just that's
Oh,
the
my fault,
Senate
this
bill.
part.
Yeah. No, you're fine. Like that's just like context to
Why
what
you're
other
asking
campuses
for
do.
it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
because like in that clauses of the Senate bill, which we can move on to, it's like we're asking this to extend the voting period to 5 days. So, which was like originally within our recommendation to the board earlier this year, but then they didn't do it. So, but yeah, if no one has questions about the OA, we can move on to the Senate bill, an act to better ACW elections, voter engagement, and education. So, all of you have access to it. Okay. Send. There you go. Elaine, do you have access now? There you go. Okay. There you go. Approve. Approve. You should have access now. There you go. Okay. I should. There you go. Okay. What's that? Any questions so far about the Senate bill? Yeah.
How is it, like, how is it currently compared to, after we passed?
What?
As far as like, it says in line like 60, I'm just trying to understand. Like, what?
Oh, I see. Oh, yeah. Okay. So, I highlighted it. So, like in this part of the Constitution, it says that the Senate can't have at least one voting member on the Elections Administration Committee, and like it's on the Constitution, so that prevents the Senate from having a representative on this committee for some reason. So, what this, first act clause is saying is like we want the board to place a constitutional amendment on the ballot so that students can vote to remove this line so that then the Senate can have a representative on this committee because that's an end goal. So the ORA is asking to have a seat in the Senate for the EAC, while this bill includes language to say we want the Senate to have a seat on our committee. So like it's like vice versa.
One more time for me.
So, I'll also send you like the recording and stuff. But
That you're recording.
like the transcript over on Teams.
Oh,
But it's essentially the Senate. We're asking the board to place a constitutional ballot measure, so that the students can vote to remove a line in the Constitution that says the EAC can't have that the Senate can't have a liaison to the EAC, so that then the Senate can then actually do it because they can't in the Constitution currently. But yeah, what do I want to talk about? So this might okay. The 5 days. So starting in line on line 86. Do you guys concur with the idea that we extend the voting period to 5 days? Because that was something that we recommended in the EBP this year, but then the board voted down. And then there was also Senate legislation about this, but then it wasn't a Senate bill, so it's like not actually enforceable. But then that never got anywhere. So what is your guys' opinions on that?
I like it because it adds obviously a lot more time to voting, a lot of time for tabling, a lot of time for us to like extend the outreach that we get. And then it also something that I thought it was really cool how this year the voting closed Wednesday night and we were able to have the results by Thursday. And I mean, it's awesome that we can do that, but like if we were to extend it, we could do it on like a Monday and then we could have multiple days to prepare. I mean,
Yeah.
just like for anything else we would want to add on top of it. Not, I don't think we need the extra time, but like if we can make a really cool elections announcement, you know?
Yeah, I know that's a good idea. Yeah, we can even do it on the Saturday if we wanted to, but
Yeah.
because like what is it? Tacoma has it 5 days, and like they had their announcement on Monday this week.
Did
So
you mention that?
I did mention that like the voting period for um Tacoma and Bothell, it's like 10 through 12. So yeah, I mentioned like so it's not without precedent that ACW on our sister campuses would have a longer voting period. So that's kind of what we're gonna say during this legislation. Oh, and when it comes to that, if you guys are, I know you are, Sky, but like if you're a senator in the student senate, I was hoping that you guys would want to like co-sponsor the bill so that it gives more credibility to it once it's introduced to the Senate.
Did they get higher voter turnout by making it longer?
That's data that we don't have. I think it's always been 5 days. If I'm well, in recent years, I can't say always, but I can look at their post that they did.
Oh, yeah.
Was we ever 5 years and did it get shorter? Or was it always just 3 there?
Ooh, okay. I looked at an EPP from 2004, and it was 3 days. So like, and that was when online voting was introduced. So it might have been since online voting's been a thing. But again, like Tacoma and Bothell have online voting, so it would just make sense. And extending the voting period, have more students vote, and I think that would be good. Hold on, where is Tacoma? Tacoma did increase their turnout.
Kind of just makes more sense to have it a full school week instead of Monday through Wednesday.
Actually, look at it here. Okay, so last year they had 2.7% turnout at ACW Tacoma, which was 111 voters. And then this year they had 397 voters, which was 9.5%. So that's an increase of 6.8%. So good for them. But like since I think it was just better like marketing and promotion of the elections on their part, because like again, like I think they've had like 5-day voting periods for like a couple of years now. But yeah, if you guys have consensus on like the 5 days thing, then we can move on to something else in the bill.
What is the OEA? Is that just the newsletter?
Yeah, exactly. So it's just making it so that we continue. I hope that we can continue it in further years as like a newsletter and like just a way to have more coverage of the elections throughout the year rather than just like those 3 days or just during the campaign period, because sometimes like outreach can only do so much, and like having an OA correspondent, for example, like we like one of the interns in a sense, like we would hire or like appoint, that would help with our outreach efforts throughout the year. Then ooh, the petition process. So I talked about like how the countries do this, but I've been in contact with registrar because I wanted to do like a ballot measure signature process, like virtually rather than just like signing papers and stuff, which definitely takes time, but this would definitely make it more accessible. And if we have it like on Husky Link or like because a lot of like UW systems need like your student net ID and like email anyways, that's like the voter certification thing that makes sure that you are a student, not just some random person just signing up to have this petition be on our ballot. And that's why we have these requirements of like full name of UW student with the UW registrar, your UW net ID, your UW student email, and your UW student ID number. So like that makes sure that the registrar, so long as all those things match up with the registrar, then like you're an actual student here, and like you could technically like put your name towards this petition that you want. Like a ballot measure on the ballot during the election, or like you want to sign a pro and con statement on like Senate legislation. So, yeah, any questions about that?
I don't, so how is the registrar, do they make the ballot measures for the?
No. So like as you know, like we just have a catalog again, like of all like the students here, and so like they are like the official like list of all students on campus and making sure that we have at least a record of all the students here, and so that we don't have like random people just signing on to our petitions. That's why we're kind of working with them. The ballot would still be under us and like with the student activities office, but
It'd be verified.
yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Because we need someone to do that because we don't have the list of all students. Yeah, then it talks about the comment and petition signature portals that can be on the AAC websites and like the Senate websites. That EAC will take the lead on like the tri-campus elections cooperative, like between Bothell and Tacoma, so that like we can organize the top dog voting competition and like our student participation in our elections. Our quarterly surveys so that like students can like have a direct outreach to the ACW and like the board will have access to that if they want. Like codifying our relationships with other student groups like the Democracy Dogs Coalition at the Sally Center, OGR, so we can like plan our yearly event, like going to the vote counting facility in Renton like every election year, and then OGR can like, plan another event like during the off election years. Participating in the Project for Civic Health, which is like this something that the Lieutenant Governor and like a former intern with the AC, like my freshman year, is like being a part of. So like focusing on like democratic participation and like voting in elections like within the state. That's something I think EAC and as students we should be taking a part of. And I've been reaching out about that. Codifying the AC Up Fair because I think that was a big success and like I think we learned a lot from this team and I hope that it can be like a bigger thing next year with like more like with better promotion too. I think if we just like had like better promotion about it, then now that students are aware of its existence, then hopefully more people show up next year and like kind of come. And that's pretty much it. And like how the fair would work, how the AC will like enact more administrative policies to make sure that these things happen. And did I miss anything? The turnout goal. Oh yeah, codifying our turnout goal of 25% by 2030. Obviously, that doesn't mean like it's actually going to happen, but like let's set ourselves to a standard. Like say we're committed to this. Even if we don't make it, like we said we would, and like hopefully like ACW in the future will be able to achieve that. Again, the extending of the voting day, changing the bylaws. Ooh, amending the bylaws to have an alumni advisor to the EAC so that like there's continuity there. Like there'll just be a non-voting member and like it's up to the committee to decide who that alumni advisor would be. Then yeah, then that constitution thing. So that's pretty much it. That's the action items in this bill. So it's more than just like having the student senate have a seat on a committee, but like again, codifying a lot of the work that we did this year and hoping that continues for future years. So yeah. Any questions about anything within the bill? Anything on Teams? Okay, cool. If that's the case, then we just need to approve the administrative policy, and then I'll put that vote on the form. So I'm hearing any emotions.
Motion to approve the administrative policy?
We have a motion to approve the administrative policy from Sky. Are there any seconds? We have a second from Ethan. Are there any objections? Hearing none. Let me put it on the Teams or on the Google Microsoft form so that we have like an actual record of it. Yes. No. There you go. Then refresh, then you should be able to answer that. And then if you're proxying for someone, just do it again and just say you're proxying when you do attendance. But yeah. We're now voting. I'll refresh. Good, that is there. Good.
Where do you vote? The roll call?
Yeah, it's there still. Just refresh your page and then the vote for the administrative policy will be at the bottom. Then when you proxy for someone, just put their name in. missing. There you go. We need 11. Cancel. Oh, cancel. Yeah, 11. Okay. 8. Stella, have you voted? Okay. Stella voted yes. Did you do it on the Microsoft form, Stella? I think
I'm sorry, where is the form?
Do you have access to the agenda?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the roll call thing again. So just refresh your page and it'll be at the bottom. Okay. Oh, goodness sake. Ethan, did you vote for Madison? Then why are you here only once?
I only submitted 4 months, but I wrote in.
Oh, well, what about your vote then?
Should I submit?
Yeah, just keep. Yeah, we need that. Nadine, did you vote for Angelina? Did you vote for yourself? Yeah, because you have your vote, and then you have the vote. Yeah, just put her name in, like when it says like Foxy. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
And then I said, and then I voted for my approval. Is that?
Yeah, but did you vote? Did you vote?
When you fill it out again, then you hit proxy, right? On the second time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
So okay, so you voted. Yes, so fine. Like we just need, we need. Okay. Okay. Once you get that in, Nadine, we're done. No, you're good. No, you're good. Like it's kind of confused. We don't have like a fancy Senate thing.
You're kind of threatening the.
It's my gavel. Okay. With the voting included, it is 13 in favor, and the administrative policy is approved. So yeah, I will be going to the steering committee. We might have more edits before then because I need to talk with like Andal, the speaker.
Did you abstain?
I did not abstain. If I know you're good, you're good. But yeah, that was cool. So what else are we doing today?
Did you need co-sponsors for the Senate bill and the Organic Act?
Either one would be good. If you want to do that, you can add your name. But yeah, thank you guys. We'll move on to other things in our agenda.
Recording changed his co-sponsor.
Oh, are you gonna do both, Sky? Oh yeah, okay, the OA and the SB. So next on our agenda is a couple of discussion items that we can kind of breeze through. Let me just share my screen again. So me and Ria are gonna be doing like an internal audit of all the things. Excuse me. An internal audit of the things the committee spent this year because it was a lot. It's definitely more than I'm pretty sure it's more than the actual budget we had as a committee in the ACW budget. So we spent a lot. Like a lot of that went to the ACW fair, into like a bunch of outreach efforts. So like that is not a financially sustainable method to outreach the elections each year. So we need to understand how much we spent and like hopefully find other avenues of revenue that we can request funds from for next year, and so that again we can hopefully get a goal of meet our 25% turnout goal by 2030, because that's a lot, and like we haven't achieved that. I think I say in my bill it's since 1966, so it's a lot. That'll be a lot of effort, and figuring out what we spent stuff on and like finding out areas how we can do that is going to be important. But yeah, So we have 3 reports we got to be working on. These haven't happened before, but I want to make sure that next year's EAC committee, or next year's EAC, and like other, and like next sessions of the EAC that understand like the work we did and like how our elections process is going in the coming year. So that's why we have a final report, our elections report, and the Student Democracy Index report. So the final report is basically it's going to include our recommendations to the EPP, because like even attending the judicial complaints hearing Wednesday, there was a lot of ideas that came to my mind, and like that's something that we'll be working on within the report. The elections report just goes over the results of the election, like how many people turned out from the living communities, like residence halls or Greek life, like those kind of students and commuters, and like we introduced study abroad students, which I think was like 6 out of 539. So that's kind of a low turnout. But like we're trying to include more students and like have more data to like, again, like statistics is important, and like figuring out which students have the least amount of outreach, and like which students we need to reach out to more. That's something that's included in our elections report. And then something that is unique is the Student Democracy Index report, which I based off of the Economist's like democracy index, which like ranks like how well democracy is doing, and I put it in the context of student democracy, our collegiate student government. So figuring out how that would work was a bit difficult over the summer, and like I haven't been working on it since then because I had actual work to do. But I think this is the most complex one if you guys have access to it. So it basically so I put it on a scale of 4.0 because that's fitting for us. And there are how many categories? There are 5 categories, but there are a different amount of indicators within those categories, and they all equal up to like 4.0. It's kind of hard to explain, but okay, so for example, the electoral process. So are elections for the heads of government free? Like that's kind of an obvious that some of these do directly come from like that report that I found. Do all of you have access to it?
Not from any of them.
Oh, that's great. Okay, but okay, I'll just ask for access and I'll give them. But basically, that's okay. You're not even right, Stella. Send. Okay, so I'll just go over one. So like are elections for the heads of government, our board of directors free? Yeah, it's kind of an obvious thing. Are the elections fair? Yeah, not all of them have a description. Are the elections for all branches of the government? No, it's only for the board of directors, and there were qualifiers here. So like 1, there's 0.5, and then 0. Then membership of the student association free to all students? Yes, we don't ask for membership fees. It's free. Do laws provide for broadly equal campaigning opportunities? Yes. The process for financial political tickets transparent? Kind of. That based on our grade for last year. The process for financing candidates transparent? Yes, we have candidate expenses before and after. Was this year's election have more than 3 candidates filed to run? Last year, yes, we did. Following controversial elections are the constitutional mechanisms for the orderly transfer of power from the government to another clear, established, and accepted. Kind of controversy over the conduct of some candidates during the elections complaints hearing were controversial. Then 10, are students free to form political tickets that are independent from the government? Kind of. Is potential access to the public offices open to all students? Yes. And does the winner of the election achieve a majority of the votes? Yes, because we've adopted a system of instant runoff voting. So these are the indicators within each category, and like all of these equate to the score of the category, which the score of the category is equaled up to the score overall, which last year was 2.73. So they didn't fail technically, but also wasn't great. But based on the model that was established last year. So now our goal is to look at the surveys that we did this year, the results of the election, and put them all and kind of our just base knowledge of how the elections went this year into the model grade for this year. So if any of that interests you, I would need help with that. Otherwise, the final report is kind of less statistical, and the elections report is just kind of putting information into the report so that it's just a bunch of statistical jargon. So yeah, any questions about that? Stella? It's fine. Okay. Yeah, okay, I should explain. Yeah, I would think we would approve all these reports, including like our amendments, our recommendations of amendments of the on the EPP by week 8, so that we don't need to use like the final 2 weeks. And I do want to plan like an event for you guys, and like then we would like have a presentation about the report either to the board or just here, like having people come to like our presentation on the reports that during that last meeting. Then we would have a little bonding event thing. But yeah. So yeah, do any of you like, sorry? Oh, like May 23rd, like 3 weeks. That's week 8. So next week's 6, 7, 8. Yeah. Oh God, we're fine. It's not like I graduate. Okay. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. Okay.
I can help with the student democracy.
Okay. SDI. Like, okay. So. Okay. Sky. Bria, does one of them interest you? The final report then. Ethan.
No preference again.
Elections. Alina. Stella, does the report interest you?
What exactly would I have to work on that about?
Yeah, I still gotta like kind of draft it in a sense, and I'll make like I'll contact you guys directly about stuff that I need like input. Because like the results, I can send you the folder of all the results, and it's like just putting information in it. And then like you guys' opinion on like how the direction of the report can be going. Because like I haven't done this before either, so it's like it's a lot of collaboration, talking with one another. So
Yeah, I can do it.
you want to do the elections one?
Yeah.
Très bien. Okay. Hopefully other people are interested. I'll make a message in the Teams channel for that. But yeah, so we'll see how this goes. I've done reports before, but having 3 at the same time might be a bit, but that's why we have a committee to help. So thank you guys. But yeah, any questions about any of the reports? I'll make sure you guys have access to it like by Monday, but yeah.
And you want to have these finished by week 8?
Yeah, we'll approve them like May 23rd, like that meeting. So like that's when we'll have them done. So it shouldn't be too much work. I'll see how much I can do before next meeting, and then I'll contact you guys about that too as well. But yeah, and again, any questions about the reports? Wonderful. Okay. As I discussed earlier, we're having like an after party thing. We're gonna have like pizza and Mario Kart. Again, like if that interests you, we'll like have it like I'm gonna guess May 3rd. So not May 3rd, that's tomorrow. May 30th. May 30th. They both start with 3. So we'll have that then. So like that would also be our last meeting. So like that's just like a good way to cap off the committee, and then we'll likely like our presentation about all the reports that we did, and like our recommendations before our little fun get together thing. But yeah. We'll tell you more about that when we get information. We gotta like ask the hub for funding, because like we can't like pay food, so like it's like some secondary source that we'll get it from. But like we'll be in discussions about that. But yeah, with no other discussion items, and no other business, I'm waiting for any other motions.
Motion to adjourn.
We have a motion to adjourn from Sky. Are there any seconds? We have a second from Ria. It's unobjectionable. So all those in favor, say aye. All those against? Wait, hold on. Stella, did you vote aye? Doesn't matter. All those, I'll vote no. No. All those abstaining. Hearing, with the voting concluded, it's 10-1 to 0. Then the meeting is adjourned at 5:51 p.m. Thank you guys. Again, I'll contact you guys about more stuff in the future. All right, see you, Stella. Stella.
Abstaining one is on the end, right? But
Yeah, it's 10. No, it's 10-1-0 because I voted no. All right. See ya, Alina. See ya, Sky. I can.
Oh, no, on adjournment?
You can. You can't object though.
Oh, you can, oh, why'd you vote no?
Yeah. See ya. I just always vote no.
Oh.
I do that in Senate. I did that in board. I did. I want to be here.
I think I've heard that before, that you always vote no.
Yeah.